Okay everyone, this video is in response to a few people have contacted me saying they're having a hard time getting the rings here to make their little storage compartment on their flashlight. I know I had a little bit of hard time when I went back and made my first video getting the rings. I had to call Fulton directly, jump through some hoops. It wasn't easy. I was kind of hoping that I'd generate enough interest to where Fulton might just throw all that stuff up on their website where it'd be easy enough to click and order it, but apparently that hasn't happened. So this video is to show you how to do a DIY method of making your own storage compartment using commonly available products. And if you notice this flashlight back here behind this, that's what we've done right there. It's a little bit bigger than that one, so you have a little bit more room. It's about 3 inches. About 3 inches. So you can fit a lot of stuff in there. It's cheap. This cost under $5 if you already have glue. Let me emphasize that. If you already have the glue. If you have to buy the glue, it's going to cost you right around $10 to do your first one, and then after that, under $5 if you want to do another one. So, let me show you what this is all about. Take your cap off, rubber gasket. You'll see here, it has a very rustic look to it. And I have another rubber gasket in there. Let me pop that out. And you'll see there's a flange in there. This rubber gasket rests on that flange so that when it goes onto the flashlight, this part of the flashlight compresses the gasket down just like this gasket here gets compressed here, making this watertight. So how did I make this? And I made it with hand tools, because if you'll look closely, those threads don't look very even, do they? This is all done with hand tools. But in order to make this, you have to have the materials. So let's cover the materials first. And here's our materials. These 3 simple pieces. Now what this is 1.5 inch gray PVC that is used in electrical conduit work. That is conduit that is in buildings where they run electrical wires. The electrical wires go inside that tubing. Now, if you go to your Home Depot or Lowe's, go to the electrical section, you should be able to find this. I went to both a Home Depot and a Lowe's near me, and I found these in that section identical. Alright, so, and I'm going to put some links below to Home Depot's website. I was able to pull up these 3 parts on their website real easy. Lowe's, that's a different story. Their website sucks. I can't navigate it. Hey, if you know anybody out there that really loves Lowe's and they get offended at me, I'm sorry. I just think their website stinks. I can't get around it. But anyway, so we're going to get down to what these parts are. This is a male thread adapter. It's 1.5 inch, made by Carlin. You can see there. You can see all that nice little detail. And that's a male thread to 1.5 inch pipe. Then we've got this guy, also made by Carlin. Where's the... Okay, it's here on the end. It's 1.5 inch. It's female thread to 1.5 inch pipe. And then we've got this, what is called a reducer bushing. And it says right here it goes from 1.5 inch to 1.25 inch. And there's the model number right there. And that's all gray PVC. And it's got a flange in the inside and this flange on the outside. Now, let's talk cost. I always get these 2 mixed up when I'm looking at the receipt. But one of these cost 87 cents, one cost 94 cents, and the flange, this reducer bushing, actually cost the most. That was $2.45, was this guy. So these 3 together, $5. Done deal. And like I said, when I made this one, I used all hand tools to prove something that could be done without machinery. Now, if you don't have the glue, this is the type of glue they use for that gray cement, you're going to have to buy a can. Or you could try using the all-purpose PVC glue I've used in my other projects. It would probably work. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I'll probably try it on my next build and see how it works, and I'll let you know. Or you could use super glue. I mean, come on, guys. It's PVC glue. It's not rocket science. So, if you buy a can of this, it's like $7. Now, what do we have to do to these to make it into this? Well, it's a little bit of work. Let's start with the hardest piece, and we'll go down to the easiest. The hardest, the most time-consuming, was modifying this reducer, because we want to eliminate this flange and this inner flange. Now, you can do it with a file, a half-round file. It just takes time. And you'll end up with something like this. Both flanges are gone, the inner and the outer. And this is ready to go. So, get rid of that. There's your first piece you're done with. Second piece, and this is really cool. This 1.5" thread on the female threads dang near perfectly onto the flashlight. But we want it reduced down enough to where when we put that rubber gasket in there on that inner flange, that when the flashlight goes in there, it compresses that. So we want to reduce all this threading down to less than a 1/2 inch. So you want to cut this down, and you want to end up with something like this. Cut yourself a rubber gasket. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't include the cost of the sheet rubber, which I already had. Okay, so get rid of this guy, and you'll end up with this. So that's step 2. Step 3. Now this is a little bit more involved, and you got to have the patience to do it. When you take this male fitting and you take your cap, you'll notice your cap wants to try to thread on, but it's meeting a lot of resistance. If you were to force this, you'd probably bust your cap, probably split it down a side or something. What the problem here is the thread count for this cap is correct. What is not correct is the thread pitch. Now, when I talk about thread pitch, if you don't know this type of stuff, I'm going to put my fingers together here as if I was a thread. Pitch is it a high pitch or low pitch? It really is that simple. And inside this cap, the threads are a low pitch, and this fitting is a high pitch, and we want these to work together. So what I ended up doing is I took a file and I filed all this down all the way around. I reduced this entire outside diameter until the cap started to fit. Then I took a triangular file like this, and I worked definition back into the threads until it was like this, to get a really nice fit for the cap. So, and you want to cut this down to about a 1/2 inch. So you'll take this, make it into this. Get rid of that guy. So, goes on there nice and neat. Then what you also want to do here is you want to cut yourself a rubber disc to go in your bottom of your cap with your lenses, that's going to compress. So when this is all together, makes it nice and watertight. So then I guess the last thing would be is you would take your glue, put glue on this guy, glue it in here halfway, glue in here halfway, and you'd end up with your storage compartment. Once this is all hardened up, you could just go ahead and put your gaskets in there and use it like that. Or if you're of a mind to, Take your file, work down all the high edges like I did here, and then I sprayed it with this is what is it called? It's called truck bed liner, and it gives it kind of a rubberized texture surface, which works out really great. So I have that goes on there. Look at that. It almost looks like it was manufactured for that flashlight. And it really is that simple to make your little storage compartment. That's all there is to it, guys. I know I kind of rushed with this. I don't have a lot of time for this video. Otherwise, I would literally sit here and I would work each piece in front of you to show you how easy it is. I know some people out there, they don't know how to use hand tools. One of the things I'm talking about using a file here is you need to get a tool called a file card. And what a file card is it's kind of like a short, stubby wire brush. And it's used for when your file, you can see here, see this material stuck in the file? You take your file card and rake it across here and knock that material out. And since we're dealing with PVC plastic, you're going to fill up your file. You're going to clog it up. So you're going to need a file card to unclog it, so you can keep removing material. Sandpaper will work too. I don't use a lot of sandpaper on plastic, but hey, do whatever you want. But that's how I made mine. I'm going to make a few more because I have like 3 more flashlights I want to modify, put in my other vehicles, stuff like that. And I hope this information is useful to you. So please comment, ask questions. Please ask questions. I have no problem answering your questions, guys. And everybody have a nice day.